What's up,
Gotta get your reaction to last Saturday night. Terrence Crawford. You didn't see it? Oh, you didn't stream it like Bo Mac? Bo Mac streamed your fight.
No,
I don't know if you.
I'm calling people on him. No, I wouldn't do that. No, I didn't see it.
Okay.
First of all, how you feeling, Coach? Good to see you. How you been? I've been on the road. I was in Greece, Italy, Romania. What brought you here tonight?
Oh, I had a young kid I'm working with, the Errol promoter. So.
Oh, congratulations.
You guys won?
Really just won.
Congratulations.
Talk to us about him, light heavyweight, correct?
He's like, well, he's one really a 68.
Right. It was he weighed in at like 69, if I'm not mistaken. Talk to us about him. A lot of people, obviously, he's now 2-0, correct?
2-0 Burley Bucks. He's a young up and coming guy. He's pretty good. Errol likes him a lot. So if Errol really likes him a lot, he sparred with him as well. So he's helping him, and he's a good fighter, a young good guy.
What about him is it that Errol sees that catches Errol's eye?
He's been around us for a long time. He's really learned, he's really watched, and kind of, so that's kind of really what he's been nurtured, so now it's like he's developing it, so it's time to, go get it now.
Hey, Derrick, saw a great interview with Errol on Boxing Scene talking about the fight.
Right.
Obviously, on this side, you got tons of great fights to make, but when that's done, do you think we will at some point get Crawford, Spence Crawford?
I think I'm down. Why wouldn't it be? It's just like, everybody's agenda is not, like I said, Al Heyman has plans and goals, Bob Arum has plans and goals. Unfortunately, at this particular point, Bob Arum plans and goals has a lot to do with Errol, right? Al Heyman doesn't have anything to do with Terrence Crawford. So that's but these plans are for years ago. You can't live in the present. This is something presently that he's dealing with, but obviously, Al's been playing on this for years, working on this thing for years, developing what he's doing for years. You can't do it on one night and say, okay, no. There's other things going on. And I'm not in it.
Obviously, Terrence is across the street with Bob, you mentioned that, but Errol has more options here on this side of the street. Sean Porter, WBC reported that the fight is going to happen next. Can you talk about that? And then
I don't know about it. So
okay.
I heard about it, but until my people confirm it with me, that's when I'm gonna say it's real.
So that's one option. Obviously, Errol stepped into the ring back in September when he claimed that title, the vacant title. Another option is Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was a fighter that Errol used to call out years ago before he was champion. He said, "Get a strap, wait your turn." Well, now everybody feel like it's Errol's turn. Why do you think Keith isn't calling him out?
Well, I think first of all Keith been out for 2 years, right? When he fought the last kid, he looked good up until the 7th round when he got hit.
Right.
I think, from my estimation, he needs more fights to get himself back reacclimated, right? But boxing is not that type of situation where they're gonna work with you because you're a champ. Because you can relinquish your title and get the fights you need and come back. But other than that, being a champ, I don't think they'll let you do that. I think that's the issue that he's having. And I think he should be allotted that opportunity because, only reason why, because I wouldn't want Errol to beat him in the present state. I want him to be as close to 100, if not 100%,
as
possible before they fight. And that's really what I want and desire. If I had anything to do with it.
Right.
So give him his time to get work back into it and get himself together and be 100%.
That said, there's talks. Keith Thurman, who was a WBA super champion, but Manny's the WBA regular champ. There's talks of that in July. How do you see that fight play out? They both fought in January. What are your thoughts?
I'm just gonna look at it as a fan, man. I'm just like, I don't really have any special interest in it. That's for them to be want to win or whatever. I'm just gonna watch it as a fan, and that's how I'm gonna really enjoy it, as a fan. Not really. And then if after this, whatever fight we fight, then we can get on to that fight, whatever.
And Derrick, I think one thing though, fans worry about with Spence and Terrence is, do you think if it gets to 2021, Spence can still make 147?
Yeah, man, make the weight easy, man. I mean, that's not the weight. The weight is not a problem.
Because everyone talks about he's so big for 47.
He's the right size.
Right.
All these other guys, the smaller guys moving up, right? It's like Mikey, no different. So people talk about Mikey, but they talk about Terrence Crawford. What's the difference? He was a middleweight, lightweight champ, moving up. And Danny Garcia did the same thing. So think about that. So you can't have one argument to say this guy was too small. They're basically really about the same size. You know what I mean? So I think it's the same argument, but I think at the same time, I think that
I hear you. They fought in the amateurs and everything. Terrence and Mikey same weight, but I guess people would say
well, even as a pro, they were both champs at the same weight division.
right, but they would say Mikey started at 26.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I just know that at 135 they were champ at the same time.
Right.
So there's no difference. Even I mean, to me, it's not. What about Danny Garcia? He was 135 pounder.
How big of an ace high do you think Errol Spence is? 70-30, 60-40, 65-35, Terrence Crawford.
I mean, I don't know about the A side, B side. I think it's like, I believe the A side, B side is whoever wins the fight. Because that's, you can go in with the idea of you're underdog, not underdog, but whoever wins the fight is the truth. Whatever.
Coach, here's an A-side behind you. You know Rolando Romero? Have you met Rollies yet?
No,
He's a personality. What's the record now, Rollies?
9-0, 8 knockouts.
And he talks sometimes more than his record. He's very popular.
When the Floyd Mayweather fighter just fought last weekend, his fight
Sent the guy to the hospital.
Yeah, literally had to be carried out on the stretcher on the ring. So, but what do you think about young fighters? Obviously, now with Errol's promotion, you just had one tonight. You had a lot of young fighters in camp with Errol. You got fighters like Charlo and fighters that used to be in camp like Rob Brandt, right? What do you think is necessary for these fighters to be able to develop at the right pace? You know, what's the key? Because we see a lot of times people are really hyping, I don't want to say hyping, but speaking highly on a lot of these
I
prospects.
think that it's about developing them. I mean, and it's a lot of work, a lot of focus from the training, a lot of work, a lot of time spent together. Because people really, what is happening, it's the difference between developing a fighter and building a fighter. Building a fighter, you padding his record, building his record, right? But developing a fighter, you're not only doing that, you're focusing on the skill and all the technique and everything needs to be done and handled. That's the difference. So a lot of times, the hype comes a lot of times from the fighters that are built.
And Derrick, man,
Right.
I didn't know if you were still.
Built, and then, but the developed fighters, you think about this, they say Errol was hype, but they still don't really kind of give him this kind of, his just due. I hear people talking, they're still skeptics. I have no idea why. They're still skeptics. I mean, I think that, I don't know what it's going to take for them to be, you know, he'll be at his retirement party, undefeated, like, man, well, he really, you know, so I don't know. I have no idea.
Cal Brook wants the rematch.
No, he really doesn't.
Derrick, man, just before I let you go, man, just had to ask about Canelo Jacobs. How you see the fight?
I go for the American fighter every time. Team USA. I mean, I fought in the USA, in the USA boxing team. I go for another kid who's from America, you know, Team USA.
Does he got to use, you know, a lot of great American fighters out of that amateur system? They use that lateral movement.
Right,
Is that what he's got to do against Canelo for
I
12?
don't know. I'm gonna look at it as a fan. I'm going into these things as a fan, so I don't have any personal.
You and Errol big fans, big boxing fans, because obviously being PBC events, those are events within your own promotion or what have you. But we'll see you like you were at Canelo Triple G. You both were. Yeah. When you guys are there, do you guys ever scout? Because I mean, obviously a lot of fighters, just like Mikey moved up and challenged Errol. A lot of fans, would love to see Errol move up to challenge Canelo.
Yeah, eventually, that's a possibility. I mean, but that's like so far away. I mean, we look at what's in front of us right now. Whoever we fight in September or whatever, or whenever. So I believe in taking step by step. I go to the fight. I never scout anybody for what. I mean, I'm there. I'm going to enjoy it. So, I mean, I don't put my personal feelings into it. I don't want Errol to fight this guy, that guy. I want Errol to fight, I mean, who he wants to fight. Absolutely. I'm just here to help him get to that point and get him in shape and work with his skills.
June 23rd?
Just to get that. Go ahead.
June 23rd, Jamel Charlo. How's camp coming?
Yeah, man, it's cool, man. It's good, man. I think you know, it's like, it's good, man. We're good.
Here in Vegas, right? That's what we're hearing.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm not in there, man. You gotta read it. Y'all gotta read it.
He dropped some tea leaves by accident. Yeah.
I don't
Y'all
focus
picked it
on
up.
that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that, you know.
How are you going to keep such a high-strung athlete so composed? Because me being a former collegiate athlete, if I lose to a guy or a team, it was basketball, you want to, we play them twice a season in the league, you want to get back. And Jamel Charlo is so high-strung, very engaged. How are you going to reel him back to stay to the...
It's a process. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like and it's an understanding of yourself. When you know what you're doing, you know who you are, you don't really get caught up in that. You know, we're not even talking about that other thing. It's the first fight. It's not. We're not talking about what happened. It's the first fight right here. I'm not mentioning it. You know, it's over because that doesn't even matter anymore. That thing is like done, right? So I'm just talking about what's coming up now, what's next. That's the first fight.
So you said you didn't catch the Terrence Crawford fight last weekend. Danny Garcia.
I watched
fought.
that fight.
You did. What were your thoughts on that performance? Obviously, Sean Porter previously fought Granados, as did Adrian Broner. What were your thoughts on the performance, or what did you think of the fight?
Man, I think he did good. Man, I think he did good. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. I mean, he did what none of the other guys were able to do. That's right. So, I think that was dope.
At this point, Errol Spence to me still the most avoided guy in boxing. I don't see anybody really calling him out or rushing to fight him. Why is that right now?